Hey y'all, this is Alicia Hawkins, your go-to transformational alchemist for emerging revolutionaries who are called to birth the new earth through their life and business in a bold way. And I'm so excited to be hopping on here live with you guys in the group first time. So if you are catching this live or on the replay, I would love it if you let me know who you are, what you do, who you serve, and one thing that you're grateful for in the comments so I can get to know you guys and connect with you. I know there's some amazing people already in this group, and thank you guys, Maureen, and for just creating this space. It always feels so good. I don't always like come in here and engage a lot, but I do. I'm maybe a little bit of a lurker, so I'm going to change that and come in here and connect more because I know there's amazing, beautiful souls, and I'm so excited. And I'll kick us off with some gratitude. I'm grateful for the ability to take action and move forward and authentically express, even when I have fear going on, and the fact that as humans we are able to do that. I hope my clients do that as well, and it's so powerful, right? And just by the way, I'm out here in nature and so beautiful. There's a lot going on today though. I think people are off work for the holiday, so there's a ton more people and they're like mowing the grass over here, and there's a bunch of lizards and turtles jumping off. So if you see me like looking around, that's what it is, because I love it, but there's a lot more activity, and there's also like snakes out here. So if you guys see a snake behind me, like let me know because I want to get up and run away. But yeah, and it's interesting too, right? Because I've been growing into my visibility and releasing my fears around that. And I'm coming in this group live for the first time today. Oh, yay! Hi, Cheryl. Hey, Sherry. Oh, thank you. Yay. Awesome. No snakes, please. Yeah, I saw one on the other side of the park earlier, and it's actually on my Facebook stories if you want to see it. So they're definitely out here. My husband saw a rattlesnake at one point, so I'm always kind of like trying not to freak out and remember that I'm protected and I'm safe and my intuition is active. But y'all, like if I get caught up in the message, let me know. But you know, I've been working on growing my visibility and becoming more comfortable with that, and remembering that I'm safe and protected and able to be seen, and that my soul's mission has this beautiful message and I need to get it out there and let my magic shine. And it's so, I've had to grow through the fear of even just like people around me seeing me hopping on live, right? Because the general population does not do this, and people stare at me and are like, what the fuck are you doing? So of course, like this is the message that's supposed to come through today, and I physically have a lot more people around me, right? Yes, we had a 5-foot rattlesnake in our property in May. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna breathe through that one. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Well, I'm glad you're alive and able to tell the story about that, right? So there's some gratitude there. Yeah, so popping your gratitude, right? That's always such a beautiful way to shift out of fear and into higher vibes, and such a beautiful way to spread light, right? And I've been moving more into this space with my clients a lot around sharing your soul's authentic expression, and I've been having so many amazing calls, and a lot of what comes up and what we're working through, and I think it's definitely going on in the collective right now too, is this fear of being judged and fear of you know, not showing up perfectly or not having the right words to say, or you know, even people, I hear people say, you know, don't go online and post or go do a live video if you're in fear because you'll send out bad energy. And to a certain extent, I understand that, but I also think that's bullshit, right? I think that's a way to play small and a way to let yourself self-sabotage and stay in your bullshit, right? And I think it's more about being mindful and saying the intention to transmute that energy and to work through the fear and to show up anyways, and to allow yourself to build your faith muscle. I don't know if you can see that. I've got faith tattooed on my wrist because I need to see this reminder on the daily, and sometimes hourly, and sometimes minute by minute, right? So it's all about having that vision and being connected to your soul's mission and to your magic, and constantly choosing to align with that by recalibrating your thoughts and your emotions and your energy and your actions for alignment with that. So it was funny because I've got so much going on in my world right now, which is, of course, like another example of all the aliveness and the activity and where I'm at right now. But we just bought a new house, like they're building it right now, and it'll be done being built in November. And this morning I was supposed to go by myself to the design center to pick out like what type of granite we wanted and the color of our hardwood floors and cabinets and all this stuff. And so those of you that know me, and are in my Facebook group, you've probably heard me talk about my design capacity and how I'm learning to love myself through that too, because I'm not typically like really good with visual design and things like that. Like my daughter is so stylish, but I'm just like, oh, this looks comfortable out there, this line type of thing typically. And my husband has a really good eye for design, and I felt myself as I was making his lunch this morning because he had to go off to work. Felt myself getting anxious, and I had these thoughts come up of, oh my God, I'm going to do this alone, and what if I don't pick out like the perfect color, and what if I make our house look crazy, we're stuck with it, and then people aren't going to want to buy it when we have to move again and resale, right? So I had all this like anxiety energy coming up, and I was feeling like constricted and tight in my chest and like my thoughts. And so I thankfully had enough awareness and knew the tools to activate and to kind of take a moment to breathe and come back in my body and just laugh, right? Because I just got off a call with an amazing, beautiful soulmate client yesterday, and she was sharing some of her fear of posting and doing Facebook Lives, because she was like, well, what if I don't say the right words, right? And so it's essentially the same fear, right? What if we don't show up perfectly? So if you guys can relate, I would love to see some hearts on the screen, or let me know in the comments too, right? Because this is something that more people, more visibility, right? Something that we all struggle with from time to time, and definitely with different layers and different intensities, but we don't have to stay stuck there, right? And so this morning I started breathing through it, and I started consciously shifting my energy, and then I tuned into my thoughts, and I said, okay, thanks for sharing, thanks for letting me know where I'm still feeling fear. And then I consciously chose to remember my own divinity, and remember that if I allow myself to tune in more to my soul, that all I have to do is ask for guidance when I'm at the design center, and say, okay, well, what's the perfect, color granite that we're gonna be so excited to experience every morning when we wake up and go down to the kitchen, and for the soulmate person that's going to come and buy our house whenever we put it up for resale, like those type of thoughts. And you can do the same thing in your business as well. Cheryl says, I know exactly what you mean. Awesome. I'm glad you can relate, right? And so for me, it's really about taking that moment to tune in and then shake off all the bullshit, right? And allowing myself to see myself through my true eyes, right? Through my own divinity and through my own connection with my infinite power source, the infinite intelligence of it all, right? And not getting caught up in my mind around having to be perfect, right? Because in that moment, I'm actually not staying in my power. I would be, trying to control things that I have no control over. And I think somebody just jumped in the water, and you're absolutely not supposed to do that over here. There's lots of rocks, and that's none of my business, and I don't need to save everybody. So I'm going to talk myself through that right now and remind myself that too. And I mean, that's the other thing too, right? So sometimes we have fear of being visible and sharing our authentic soul's expression and our truth, because we have this fear of being judged and fear of being criticized. And that can be hurtful sometimes, right? And in fact, right, so this morning I was making my husband's lunch, and all this stuff was going on inside of me, and I was working on transmuting and shifting that. And I mentioned to my husband as he's getting ready, I said, okay, I'm going to the design center this morning. Is there anything that, you want to make sure we have in the house, like, and as far as design-wise, or do you want to tell me anything before I go? And I was working really hard on staying in my power and, trusting that it would all be divine. And he looked at me and he said, I don't know that I really want you to go to the design center by yourself. I was like, well, okay, honey. And honestly, like, some people would think that's harsh, but I appreciate that. That's one of the things I love about him, is his directness, right? And he did say it with a level of love, and we have that open kind of communication. Obviously, he felt part of it was the energy too, obviously. You know, I was thinking about those things and processing that and holding that fear energy in my body, and he was reflecting that back to me. So in that moment, I had a choice, right? I could have received his judgment of my potential lack of like design eye or whatever you want to call that, and I could have taken it in and used it as like a way to hurt myself and criticize myself, or to think that he didn't trust me or that I wouldn't be good enough, right? And so a version of me in the past would have done that, and I would have, you know, beat myself up and then told myself I need to go to study design on like interior decorating and all this kind of stuff, and like made myself crazy and dispersed my energy and put it out of alignment with what I'm actually here to do, right? Because yes, I could try and go learn interior design, but I wasn't born to do that. Like, that's not my gifting. My gifting is to show up and to shine light and to be a healer. And so the more that I focus on my soul's mission and my truth and my authentic expression, and learn to love myself and not judge myself, the more I'm in my own magic, and everything else is just an alignment, right? And then I can go hire an interior decorator or go get some help and support. And so in that moment, I recognized that, and I said, okay, well, you know, that's awesome. Thank you for the feedback. Let me go call the lady and see if I can reschedule, because he actually has off work on Monday for the holiday. And he's in the military, so their schedule is kind of tight sometimes. And so I said, you know, I'm turning this over to the universe and remembering that we're always co-creating with the divine. And so if this is in divine alignment, I'm going to choose to trust that if I'm supposed to go by myself and pick out these design options, then I'll go and do that. And it'll be a growing lesson and growing opportunity, and I'll pick out the perfect divine options. And if not, then somehow the schedules will rearrange, and I'll have the support, and I'll go to the design center with him, because he has really good design eye, and also it would be a fun bonding activity, and I can learn and grow, and it'll be amazing in that sense as well. So in that moment, I had the opportunity again to choose fear, to choose faith, to choose judgment or love, and I chose to consciously step into my power. And what I have power over is making that decision and tuning in with those thoughts and aligning with that energy, right? And then I took the action to go call the lady, and she was in the most peaceful place she's ever been. We've communicated a few times, and every other time she's always been frazzled. I'm like, oh my God, this schedule's so crazy. There's a lot going on. I don't know if I can fit you in here or there. And she was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Like, I'm not at the office, because I called her like 7:15 and our appointment was at 9 a.m. And she was like, things happen sometimes. I understand that. He obviously wants to be a part of the process, so we'll figure it out. And she rearranged the schedule somehow, miraculously, right? And so we're going now on Monday morning as a family. And I feel so much love and support from the universe and from myself and from her and from my husband, and everything just worked out perfect and in divine alignment. But it's because I chose to love myself and move through that and to transmute that fear, right? And we have the same capacity to take that same process and do that when we show up online in our business or any other area of our life where we know our truth and we know where we're at, and we have the capacity to shine more love and compassion on that, and to get into alignment with what it is that we actually want, what our heart's desire is, right? And so my heart's desire was to have support and love and enjoyable experience, and so that's what I ended up manifesting in such a more beautiful way too. And I didn't have to worry about rushing, because I felt like, you know, the schedules were going to be a little bit crazy today too. And so now I have all this extra time and space, because I already took off on Monday. I'm not doing any business work, and everything is just falling in line so much more perfectly. And that's part of the beauty of transmuting fear and releasing that self-judgment and releasing the need to be perfect. So if you guys can relate, I would love to hear about some of your stories, or if you have questions or want to know more about this too, like let me know if you can see how this concept translates into your business and showing up and being visible and releasing that fear of judgment. Write some in the comments. Deb says, good morning. Thank you. Hey Deb, good morning. Oh, I didn't even see all these comments. This is awesome. Sherry says, I find myself not working on my art sometimes because I worry about not getting it the way I imagine it in my head and then wasting the product. But in reality, that's just wasted time and energy of not moving forward. Yeah, exactly. I can so relate to that. It's funny because I do really well. I love to write, and I feel like I articulate things a little bit better when I write. So even me just showing up on video and live video is like growth for me, and pushing into my own self-love and releasing self-judgment even more, because I have that fear of not expressing my message as powerfully or as articulate as when I write. And so I find though sometimes in my journals, I, just need to free flow, right? And I have this one new journal that I just bought. I'm like, oh my God, this journal is so beautiful. Like, I only need to write really powerful, like amazing things in there. So I haven't like allowed myself to just do free flow journaling because I don't know what's going to come out of there, which is so silly, right? And it's actually coming from like a lack and scarcity mindset and bringing that energy into it. And you're so right. If you just get yourself into motion, the clarity will unfold. And as you continue to step into that love energy and that compassion, a lot of times as we get into that movement, everything unfolds so much better than we could even imagine, or it happens visually as we see it in our mind's eye. So Sherry, I love that you're like brave enough to call yourself out and share that with us, and I appreciate that. And I want to challenge you too to like put some type of ritual in place, so when you find yourself in that stuck moment and not wanting to waste the product, figure out something that works for you. Either go and write some affirmations, or stand and do some mantras, or do some energy work to get out of your head and get back into your heart. And if you feel the energy moving through you, giving yourself permission to do that. Sheila says, wow, my husband reacts the same way and makes those comments. I love that, because I was like, okay, I don't know how like typical this is for marriage, or like if other people do that. I love to hear that. I love how you're looking at it. Totally something I need to hear today. Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that, Cheryl. Thank you for sharing that with me, because this is a bit new for me too, like learning to share my vulnerabilities and my stories in live video. So I'm so glad it resonates and you can relate, and it's what you need to hear today, because that is what I need to hear today too. Because in every moment, with every person and every potential judgment, we have the power to shift that, right? And we have the power to lower our vibes, or to stand in our power and raise our vibes, or to process through whatever it is, right? And so I was able to be in that place this morning because I've been doing this work on myself for years, and because I help my clients do it too. So I have a higher level of awareness to my own potential triggers, and I don't even necessarily want to say triggers is the right word, but places where I can allow myself to beat myself up and get stuck. And so now I move through it, and I'm not perfect. I for sure still have moments where it takes longer. I need to go call my coach or get support, or go work with the lady that does energy healing with me when it's beyond something that I'm allowing myself to work on by myself. Sherry says, so awesome. And I tattle on myself all the time. I love it. Yeah, it's so powerful when we do, right? I have to tattle on myself all the time too. And it's such a beautiful thing, because it's a way to put ourselves back in our power and to get that support too, and to continue to grow and evolve. And even this morning, like I come out here at least a few times a week, and I either walk around the track or run. And then I find a spot like over here or somewhere, or sometimes I'll do like walk and talk, and I do live videos in my Facebook group, Hustle and Flow. And but it's funny because coming out here around the same time every morning, you typically begin to see some of the same people over and over again. And I made a video actually across the water. I don't think you can see it, but there's another set of rocks over there. And there's people over there today. And I made a video, I think it was last week, around this visibility and fear of judgment, because there's these two older ladies that go walking around the same time that I do in the morning. And sometimes I cross paths. And the first time that I crossed paths with them, one of the ladies just looked at me with so much like disgust and like, I just felt this heavy like hatred energy, like just being like shot right at me as we walked past. And because I'm intuitive and have some psychic ability and really sensitive to energy, I really felt like the quote unquote blow of her judgment coming at me the first time we just even walked past each other. And so that I made like a whole nother long video of how I processed through that, and some tools and techniques that you can do to serve you with that as well. But this morning we walked past each other again, and I felt that opportunity to be vulnerable, and in the past I would have given my power away to other people, and I would have questioned myself and wonder, why is she judging me? What's wrong with me? And you know, I knew she was disapproving of me in part because, you know, the way, just who I am is what it feels like, and the fact that, you know, I've got like my hot pink sports bra sticking out, and you know, because people do see me like with my camera out here live, and there's lots of potential things for normal people to judge in a sense, just because they don't understand. And in the past, because I wasn't validating and loving myself, I would have taken that on as my truth, and I've been in like a whole downward spiral and been depressive about it. And so today I know that, you know, it's more about me shaking that shit off and releasing that energy, and reconnecting and regrounding and bringing in cosmic energy, and clearing my energy field and bubbling up and also about choosing to love myself more, and to also see that it's not even about me, and that's just a reflection of the judgment that she places on herself. And also it's an opportunity for me to see where I'm still placing judgment on myself, because if I didn't still have that in my energy field, I wouldn't be attracting that into my experience. And so it's an opportunity for me to shine light on that dark space, and that space where I'm still holding myself back and not seeing my divinity. Instead, I'm criticizing myself through my ego. And I have that opportunity in that moment to process through that. And sometimes it takes longer, and I felt like I still feel tears welling up, like I need to process all of that and more on a deeper level, because I felt really judged and vulnerable this morning. And so this morning, when it first happened with my husband, there's a beautiful dragonfly that just flew around. When I with my husband, I felt really safe and in my power, and so I was able to shift through that quickly. But when I got to the park this morning, I felt really high vibe and was super excited to show up on live video and connect with my tribe and share my soul's truth and just get into action and enjoy the experience. And actually another mom and daughter walked past me, and the daughter just looked at me with like disgust, and she had on like a Christian shirt or something. I could just feel that she was judging me too, and the essence of what it felt like was that I was an embodiment of everything that, you know, she was being told is wrong, and because she was dressed modestly, and I'm not like totally like whipping my tits out or anything, but I'm not super modest necessarily either. And even that's like an outward expression, right? And so, you know, it caught me off guard because she was younger and I just was in my happy space and I hadn't bubbled up or anything. And then, you know, I was like, okay, well, that's cool. That's her shit. And like, also it brought up a lot of stuff because I was raised Christian and I had a lot of safety and protection in that when I was younger, because I grew up in a really dysfunctional family and there was a lot of abuse and physical, mental, verbal, sexual, even at one point. And so there's a lot of healing that I've had to do. And I learned very early on that it physically was not safe for me to be visible. And so for me to show up online with you guys and to be visible in my business has taken courage again and again and again, and healing and releasing judgment and releasing fear and tuning in and affirming the fact that I am protected and that I am divine and that everything happens for a reason and all this stuff, right? And so I was processing it, and then that old lady came again and she shot like that hate energy at me, and you know, each time I was just able to smile, and I didn't receive it like I used to in the past. And those were physical embodiments of the potential of what we carry into the online world and online space sometimes too. And the potential fear that we bring into that, right? Because I can't see you guys physically, which to me in the past has brought up other fears, because if I can see you, what I used to do in the past was merge, or I would shrink or make myself small or be tempted to conform to make somebody else in front of me feel better. all the while, not feeling better myself or not in alignment with who I actually am as a being and as a soul and my unique expression of that. So that's been a whole nother journey, right? And so the beauty of Facebook Lives, in a sense, is that I can't see you. And even though that feels vulnerable, it's an opportunity for me to, again, go into myself and into my energy more and stand in my power and reaffirm myself. And the more that I do that, the more that I can connect and show up authentically with you guys and not worry. And to know that anybody that, doesn't like what I have to offer, doesn't resonate, will just fall off, right? It's just energetics. And that's absolutely okay, because as they fall off, it gives them time and space to go find the person that they resonate with. And that it also allows me to magnetize in my true soulmate clients and soulmate tribes who does resonate and who appreciates my quirkiness and the way I show up and my gentle nature, but also my ability to call truth out. And that's such a beautiful thing, right? That's such a beautiful blessing. The fact that we have technology and connect across the world is so beautiful. And it's all about like focus too, right? Like, where are we putting our focus on? Are we choosing to put our focus on the love and the light and the fact that we were born for such a time as this and the world needs our light, even if they don't always understand it and they don't express that from moment to moment? And knowing and standing in the truth that even if we're just planting a seed and dropping some light here and dropping some light there, that has huge impact and huge meaning even when we don't recognize it, right? So much like ripple effect too, just like in the water right now. I'll read some of these comments. Cheryl says, yes, I'm learning how to move through these moments too. Sherry says, I totally hear you. Aw, yay. I'm so glad this is resonating. So I would love to know more about you guys too. Like, it just disappeared. I wonder where it went. That's okay. It's all in divine timing too, right? And so even on my Instagram story with the snake I saw earlier today, like I had a rock stuck in my shoe, and so I stopped to pick it out, and then had I not stopped, had I not gotten that rock in my shoe, I would have been so much closer to like where the snake was slithering across the path. And if I wasn't paying attention, I could have like stepped close to it and potentially gotten bit, right? And so that's the other thing too, is like sometimes along our path we have these obstacles in our life and in our business, and really it's just a moment for us to pause and to get into divine timing and divine alignment, and allow ourselves to just show up as we are, right? So, all right, I'm gonna tune in and see if there's anything else of this message that wants to come through. There's like this beautiful breeze, and this dragonfly. Can you guys see it? I don't know if you can. It's so amazing out here, and I feel the sun soaking up. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you guys for showing up here live with me and for engaging and letting me know you can relate. And hopefully this was helpful for you. It was helpful for me too, and it even transmuted my fear. I had fear around showing up and getting on camera this morning. And now, even just me processing out loud and sharing how I process and sharing that with you guys, it's been a way for me to love myself more and to love myself through my potential perceived imperfections, and to release that fear of judgment and to vibe higher, right? And to share part of my magic. And I so appreciate you holding that space and being here with me and receiving me as I receive myself as well. So along those lines, if you guys are interested in learning how to stand in your power more and release any of the bullshit that's holding you back and shine light on some of those limiting beliefs and stories and techniques and practical and spiritual to shift and transmute that quickly, if you want to learn how to tune into your intuition and get those answers and get that clarity and how to manifest quicker, and if you would love some support on tuning into your soul's mission and authentic expression and divine truth and tapping into your magic and monetizing that through your business, then you guys can feel free to send me a PM and I can tell you more about my newest program called Resurrect Your Magic. It's a 6-week program where we go through all those topics and so much more, and really allow you to shake off the shit that doesn't serve you and tune into more of your own divinity and get yourself out in the world, shining your light, showing up in your love for yourself first and foremost, and then for everyone else around you, and also doing it in a way that allows you to nourish yourself by bringing in more money through your business, and also, you know, nourishing the world with your love and light. So that's my 6-week program, Resurrect Your Magic. And again, definitely if it's resonating, it feels good, you're curious, whatever, feel free to, if we're not already friends on Facebook, I see some new faces. My name's Alicia Hawkins, I was going to say. You can find me on Facebook and hit friend and send me a message. And I would absolutely love to connect with you. And even if you're not interested in this, but you just resonate, I would love to be friends, because I love like just the energy you guys are holding in this space, in this tribe, and being able to connect with other light workers and other people who get it and are on this same type of path and mission makes all the difference. So with that, I will leave you with a reminder to be bold enough to create the life and business that you've been dreaming of. Because if you can dream it and you can see that vision in your mind, it's absolutely meant for you. And in fact, it's already done in the energetics, and it's up to you to do what you need to do to shake off all the bullshit and all the lies and all the stuff that's holding you back, and get into alignment and manifest it into your physical reality, because you absolutely deserve it. And I believe in you, and we need what you have to offer. We need your love and your light, and we need more of you. So with that also, I want to challenge anybody that's watching to go ahead and go live in this group today too, because not only will it be an amazing, beautiful experience for everyone that gets to bask in your glory and in your love and light, but it'll be healing for you as well. And I want to see you guys. I want to see you, Sherry and Cheryl, and anybody else is watching and tuning in live or on the replay. And I want to get to know you guys better and experience your magic and your energy and your love and light. So, if you're going to take me up on that challenge, let me know in the comments below and tag me when you go live so I can hop on, or I've got some sessions with clients later today too. I'll catch the replay. So with that, beauties, remember to enjoy your day, constantly tune into yourself, into your magic, reconnect with your soul's mission, and bask in your own beauty and shine it out there for all to see. Can't wait to connect again soon. Bye, beauties.